On February 7, 2026, officers were dispatched to a hotel after receiving a report that an employee had allegedly stolen multiple customers' credit card information and used it to make unauthorized purchases over an extended period of time. When officers questioned her, she denied the allegations and claimed she had no idea how the purchases were made using her customers' credit card information.
All right, so you're under arrest right now. You have a warrant for your arrest.
For what?
So just place your, I'll go through everything with you here in just a second, okay?
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to read you your rights real quick, and then I'll explain to you what's going on, okay? And we do have somebody else here to relieve you from your shift.
Okay.
Okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in the court of law. You have the right at this time to talk to a lawyer and to have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questions if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand these rights I've explained to you?
Yes.
Okay, so two things. You have a warrant for your arrest for driving with a suspended license out of the sheriff's office at San Mike. In addition to that, you're also being placed under arrest for theft.
For what?
Well, that's what I would like to talk with you about. So what we'll do is once we get all your stuff gathered and everything, we'll go down to the office and you might be able to clarify some things for me on that, but I'm confident that you know what it is. Will you go grab them and let them know so they can come in and we can get her things? You have your cell phone on you?
No, it's not the desk plugged in.
Can you go grab her cell phone for me?
Is there anything else she needs?
There's a black bag on the back desk that is also mine.
Is any of this stuff here that's in your bag belong to the business?
No.
No, so the notebook and all that stuff?
No, that's not mine.
That's all yours?
Yes.
Okay. We'll take that out there. So before we get going into everything that we need to talk about, I got to go just through some standard questions as part of our protocol sheet. Today's date is February 7th, 2026 at approximately 22:40 hours. Currently located in the Ellensburg Police Department in interview room B. Along with me is Alexis King. Alexis, can you spell and say and spell your entire name, please?
Alexis Lynn King, AlexYSSLYNNKING.
Obviously, I explained to you that you were under arrest. You have a warrant for your arrest for a driving violation, but you're also under arrest for theft. And you had indicated when we were at the hotel that you were confused by that.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit of time since we've spoken about that and the car ride and everything. Do you have an idea as to what I'm actually here talking about regarding the theft?
No.
You have no clue. You can't think of anything that you've done that would be wrong where you would be arrested for a theft charge.
No.
Okay. Were you going to get a pizza tonight?
Yes.
Okay. And did it show up?
Yes.
It did.
Yes.
Okay. And how did you pay for that pizza?
With my card I had on file, it autofilled.
It autofilled your card?
I clicked one of the cards that was on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So in order to autofill something, you have to input it manually first and then save it into your wallet or whatever phone. I think you have an iPhone, right? So it'd be your wallet. So you have to save that on there. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So tonight you ended up placing an order for Domino's, and you're saying that you used what you thought was your card.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the problem is that you didn't use your card. You used a card to one of the guests at the hotel.
How?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. You're asking.
No, I don't understand how that would work.
I think we both know how that would work. Is there any reason that you would be using your personal phone for work business, inputting people's credit cards?
No.
For work? You don't do that in any fashion.
No.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So how would it autofill a customer's information, credit card, the credit card number, the expiration date, and the 3-digit PIN? How would that be possible to autofill if you're not using your phone for any work-related purposes? Lexi?
I don't know.
Okay. Because this wasn't the first time that this has happened. You also did it when you went to watch the movies on the 4th at the theater. Do you remember going to the movies?
Yes.
And what movie did you see?
I know obviously what movie I saw, I just can't even think right now. Zootopia.
Okay, because how many tickets did you buy?
3.
And how did you buy those?
Online.
Online?
Yeah.
Okay. And how much was that?
$20-something dollars.
Okay, sounds right. Yeah. And then how much was the pizza tonight?
30-something.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was 40-something, but regardless.
Okay.
And even prior to this, I believe this is not the first time this has happened. We just couldn't prove it then, and now we can. You live in Yakima, yes?
Yes.
So a while back, Sergeant Sedano also took a report from another customer that had stayed at the Red Lion, saying, hey, I stayed at the Red Lion, and then a couple days later, there were these fraudulent charges on my credit card down in Yakima, specifically down in Yakima. Mm-hmm. One of them was from Walmart. One of them was to KFC. And I don't remember off the top of my head where the other one was, but it was another online merchant of sorts.
Okay.
And whose name was associated with that. So the reason I ask how it could possibly be, Lexi, that gets autofilled is to help understand it, because maybe there's a reason for it. I don't know. I'm not in the hotel business. So there might have been a legitimate reason you were using your phone to input stuff, but it doesn't sound like it.
No.
And talking with the owner, it doesn't sound like that's the case either.
No.
So help me understand how it could possibly be that 2 different people had their credit cards used by you on accident to purchase things.
I don't have an answer for that.
I can't put words in your mouth because, well, I could, but I think that's disrespectful. I don't want to do that. I have my own assumptions. And I just kind of laid it out why you've done what you've done by using other people's stuff. My assumptions are my assumptions. It helps me understand if I actually hear why you did this, how you did it, and what the purpose was for. This might be difficult for you to answer, but I want you to do it to the best of your ability. How long have you been doing this?
Recently, I actually just barely started getting actual 40 hours, like work weeks.
Okay.
And that was literally starting after the manager we had walked out on us. And that's a whole other thing. I thought he was a really good friend of mine. And I found out after he left that he was actually the reason I wasn't getting hours. I only got 2 shifts a week, 2 8-hour shifts. I got 16 hours a week. The entire time he was there. He gave me a Thursday and a Friday night audit shift, which was 8 hours. I asked for more hours many, many times. He said ownership won't let him. He's trying to put me on the schedule. I'm taken off. Even hearing from other employees themselves, they said that even when they had to call out or request a day off, they're like, well, why don't you just have Alexis do it? She only gets 2 shifts anyways. And he's like, no, she doesn't want them.
He was saying that?
Yeah. The whole time I was begging him.
Is that when this whole thing started? When you weren't getting the hours?
I guess so, yeah.
You guess so?
No, yeah. It was.
So no, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I know you. So I'm just trying to get clarification.
Yeah.
Because that would make sense. If you're not getting the hours that you're trying to make ends meet.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So roughly, again, I don't need an exact date, roughly when did this start?
A few months ago.
Okay. Because I know I have records of accusations made from about that time frame.
Yeah. And I literally just recently got like a full 40 hours.
How recently?
Maybe the past few months.
Okay.
I literally just started getting full 40-hour weeks.
What month was it that the previous man, did he get fired or quit?
He walked out on us because of a lot of stuff he was doing behind the scenes.
Okay.
So basically he walked before he could get fired, and our owner was actually doing her own really sketchy stuff with him. That's why she never went after him, is because they have their own
Relationship?
No, not relationship like that. When it came to money and pay and stuff like that, they were doing both really sketchy things. So she never went after him because she knew she couldn't. Because if she did, he could just tell on her too. So
About what month was that you walked out?
November?
November?
I believe November, around there.
And then after he walked out, you then went from the 16 hours a week to getting more time?
Now I get a 40. Yeah, a normal, like, full 40-hour week.
And that happened right after he left?
Yeah, because I was the one covering his shifts.
Okay.
Him and his nephew both were working there, and he left and took his nephew.
Okay.
So we lost 2 people, and I was the only one willing to do 16s.
Okay.
And I've been doing that since now.
That's hard. So I recognize the difficulty of working 16-hour shifts. It is difficult.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that. So you lost 2 people, he and his nephew, and you immediately started getting full 40 after that.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
He actually walked out in the middle of my shift, and I was doing audit, like, only overnight at the time, and he walked out in the middle of it, and he was actually the next shift to come in. Like, he was supposed to be the one to relieve me in the morning, so I ended up staying and working a 16, and I've just done it since.
Okay. So if he left in November, about what month was it that you started using other people's credit card stuff to get by?
I don't know, right around that time.
Around that time? Okay. So how would that work? Walk me through how that would work.
I don't know, I don't have an answer for that.
What do you mean? I guess I don't understand what you mean you don't have an answer for that.
I don't know.
Would you take a picture of their cards with your phone? Would you write the information down? Would you take it from the computer?
No.
So how would that work?
I don't have an answer for it.
Okay. Let me see if I can rephrase that then. You said it autofills on your phone, which I think we can both agree that it doesn't autofill unless you manually enter it in there.
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay. How would you store the information so that it does autofill on your phone?
It didn't autofill.
Okay. So you manually put the information in there. You have to at least at one point. You have to do something. It doesn't magically appear, correct? So
Right.
You either have to physically enter the information in by pressing the numbers on the phone, right? Or sometimes you can take a photo of it and it uploads it automatically too. It just depends on what program, what platform you're using, that kind of thing. So those are 2 ways that you were getting that information, or that it was inputted into those devices. What I'm asking is, while you were at work, how were you getting the information?
I don't have an answer.
You don't have one, or you just don't want to?
I don't want to at the moment.
Okay, that's fine. Again, Lexi, I can't force you to talk. By having an understanding of how and why this occurs, it helps me relay that to the prosecutor. Because there is a bit of a misconception amongst the general public on how things work within law enforcement. People think that we are the ones that charge folks with crimes. We are not. We are the ones that gather the evidence and the understanding in what is happening in an incident. We act on it, and then we send it to the prosecutors, whether they're in jail or not jail, and then they read it, and they're the ones responsible for putting those pieces together and then charging them with the appropriate crimes if we mess up and forget something or go do something. So what I'm trying to do is honestly help you as well so that they understand how deep this goes. Because we have, well, I'm not going to tell you how many I know of. I'm going to let you tell me. How many different cards would you estimate that you've used in that time?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Would you have a guess?
No.
Okay. Describe some of the things that you purchased with those cards.
Food, hygiene products.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's
So-
day-to-day life things like that are needed.
The order to Walmart that was online that I'm aware of, when you ordered things through Walmart, what kind of things were you buying online?
Typically, every time food,
Food, grocery items, correct?
grocery items,
Right? Okay.
dinner items.
And why were you using the cards to buy food? Don't overthink it. Why were you using the cards to buy food?
Well, like you already mentioned, to get by.
Yeah. Did you have money of your own to be able to afford the food at that time?
No.
No. How come?
I barely get hours, and the money I make, it goes into rent or like gas. I have to pay to be dropped off at work
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Okay. And I appreciate the honesty. I do. Because I truly believe that you were doing this to get by. Nothing that I have is saying, as I explained before, that this was something that you were doing to buy lavish, extraordinary things. Mm-hmm. It's all relatively small that I'm aware of thus far. Small purchases. Regardless if it's small or not, each one is a crime. Mm-hmm. I hope you understand. So each transaction that you do with somebody else's credit card is a crime. Mm-hmm. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what your boss is going to do as far as a job. I don't know if you're going to have a job or not. I had to inform him of the situation because he's the legal owner of the business. And
the one that came in?
no,
Oh,
they don't know what's going
okay.
on.
I was gonna say he's not.
No.
Okay.
Is it Rakesh?
Yeah.
Is that how you say? I don't know.
Yeah,
how you say-
Rakesh.
Rakesh. I spoke to him on the phone because I do know that he is the owner. And I explained to him, we need to find somebody to come in because you're using people's cards for personal gain without approval. And that's obviously not okay. The reason I ask whether or not how you got this information is important to me. Because what I don't know whether you're doing, I can't say one way or the other, is whether you're cloning the cards and you're making cards.
I didn't even know that's a thing, honestly.
It is.
Okay, yeah, I didn't
is.
even know that.
And they have people in your positions all over that have access to these things. Like they have access to people's credit cards by getting information from them right at the time they check in. I need a card on file, so on and so forth. You have access to their name, their driver's license, their date of birth, their credit card number, everything you need to be involved in fraudulent scams, like significantly. Now, I'm not saying that's what you're doing. I truly don't believe that.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Sure, I understand. But what makes me concerned is the fact that you won't explain or you don't want to explain how you're getting this information and why. Because then it takes me back to my detective days. I'm thinking, okay, is she part of something larger where you're giving this information to other people?
No.
How are you getting it? Why are you taking it? Is it just you? Is it other people? Are you pulling it from the internet? Are you pulling it from the wreckage? Are you taking photos? Are you texting it to other people?
No.
That's what I'm concerned with.
Right.
That's why I ask these questions. Because we have to be accountable for all that information. And you possess other people's information that's detrimental to their lives, that can ruin credit and everything else. Mm-hmm. Canceling cards that they have payments to, the impact for you on what you did also impacts them in a negative way. So it's my job to try to run down to what end this is going to impact them and how to help them as well while helping you and your kid. Mm-hmm. Because ultimately it's the prosecutor that's going to read this and go, okay, was she cooperative? Was she not cooperative? Why did she do this? Is she involved with somebody else? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So if you can provide me a reason that you don't want to share that information, that's fine. If you just flat out don't, there's nothing else I can do about that.
I just don't want to bring anybody else into it.
I'm not saying that you have to bring anybody else into it.
That's how it started, though, or
I believe you.
how it even came up in the first place. Because I never did it. It's not like I've done it my whole life. It came up with what?
I believe you.
Yeah.
On that. You had to have learned this from someone.
Right.
Okay. So if you don't want to provide that information, again, I can't force you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know that it's actively still going on, and that person is still employed there and this is actively going on?
No, he was the one that left.
Okay.
He was the manager that left.
Okay.
That's why I don't even know if Rakesh knows that he was doing it. I do believe Shika, the other owner.
What is that? Rakesh's wife, or
I think it's his daughter.
okay.
I think it's his daughter.
Okay. And what's her name?
Shika.
Shika. Okay.
I do believe she knows, maybe not, but I do believe she knows that he was, but she never went after him because they were doing their own things.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to ask for details about what he did. What I'm curious of, again, is how you got that information. So if you were getting that information from him, which I don't think you were because...
Well, no.
Yeah, not now because he wasn't here.
He walked out, right?
Yeah, when the incidents that I'm aware of, he wasn't even employed anymore.
Right.
So he had obviously taught you how to do this prior to him leaving so that you knew how.
It wasn't like a teaching me something. The way he was doing things, I have no idea the system. He has done the opera system or worked with it for 15, 20 plus years, so he knows all the ins and outs and everything. I don't.
Sure.
He didn't ever show me that. I didn't care to know. I probably couldn't even wrap my head around it. It was...
You had a name for it. What was it called?
Opera.
Opera.
It's just like the name of the system, the hotel rooms.
To log guests and all that?
It's like booking, reservations, everything.
Okay, and you don't deal with that?
No, I mean, that's a system we use.
Okay.
I'm just saying he had like 15 or 20 years experience operating it. So he knew everything, like things only a GM would know, which is what he was.
Okay.
Like none of us have access to as far as he did.
All right. And at some point you learned how to do this.
It wasn't a learning thing. Like he never told me the way he was doing it. He would just type it into the comments.
Type what into the comments?
Information.
Of the card, from the card. The information from the card in the comments field of the booking reservation.
Right.
So then he would have access to that at a later time by looking at that information.
Right.
Am I getting that?
Right.
What you're picking up
Yeah.
or laying down? Okay. So, and you watched him do that, right? So then it's not like, hey, watch what I'm doing. I'm teaching you something, wink, wink. Was it something like that?
No, I mean, like I said, we became really good friends, or at least I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I thought like we hung out together, like we went to dinner together, we like had drinks together. I thought we were friends, but the whole time it's like he kind of just set me up to fail.
Yeah.
By I loaned him money, which also didn't make sense to me because he was a GM, he was salary. I got 2 shifts a week at minimum wage. And then just everything else, it's like, he wasn't my friend.
Mm-mm. No, and that's sad to hear. So did you pick up what he was doing then, and then realize that he was getting away with it? And just thought you could too? I
guess, yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I don't know who he is at this point. I mean, I could find out, but I know that's not what you're trying to do, and I respect that. But at some point you learned that process, and then you took over that process as well, I guess you could say, of just entering the information in the comments field. Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, is that something you do with every customer?
No.
How would you select which customers to use?
It was random.
It was random.
Yeah.
And did you have a process because I think I know the answer to this, but how often would you use a card before you quit using it?
I don't know.
When would you stop using a card that wasn't yours?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you understand what I'm asking?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So, is that one that you just don't want to answer? Is that the I don't know?
I just don't know when.
Okay. Then let me rephrase that. If you had the card, say I check in, you write down my information on the comments field, I check in as a guest, I stay, I leave, a couple days goes by, you have you have access to my information, right? You wrote it down in the comments field, so you have my credit card and the security code and the expiration date, my name, you have everything you need. And then you need groceries for you and the kiddo. I'm gonna use this card. So I'm gonna go to Walmart and I'm gonna buy food and groceries and hygiene stuff at Walmart. And I make a list, I go pick it up. And I need KFC. I'm gonna go get some KFC. And then Domino's, right? Like tonight you needed food, so you use card on Domino's. How long would you keep using that card? Until it got deactivated? Until you got scared that it would get caught on? Where was the general rule of thumb for you personally?
There wasn't like a general rule of thumb, no.
No? Okay. And how many times how many cards do you think you did total?
I don't know.
Okay. Does anybody else have access to your phone?
No.
Is it password protected?
Yes.
It is. And what is the passcode for that?
I don't want to give my passcode.
Okay. I'm gotta ask.
Yeah.
Because what's going to end up happening is I'll be seizing your cell phone and I will be applying for a search warrant to get into the phone and to identify just how many cards you have on file in your phone. Okay. So I believe that you are being honest with me for most things, and I do appreciate that. And I understand your hesitation to speak about others. Mm-hmm. I'm not here trying to jam you up to get anybody else in trouble. But if you know that this is occurring within that company, within your job, that other people in your position are also doing this.
Well, he's not there anymore.
Right, but I don't know if there's other people. That's why I said if there's other people. I know you'd mentioned the previous GM doing it. And are you aware of anybody else doing this that's currently there?
No, not currently there.
Okay. Because that could help you if you knew who those were, so we could come get that to stop as well. Mm-hmm. Okay. I know you have, it sounds like, because when we were going through your bag looking for guns and what have you, it looked like you had Domino's cards in there. And I'm assuming tonight according to Domino's, you ordered that online. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Through an app?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is your time, Lexi, to speak your piece, to tell me and the prosecutor and whoever else what's going on in your side of this story, because there's always two sides. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm here to do, is to get your side of things and why. Mm-hmm. And this is your time.
I don't know what else what are you wanting me to?
Is there anything else that you think of that you think I should know? No?
No.
Okay.
The first thing I notice when reviewing this room audio is how a routine warrant service completely dissolves within minutes. When we first approached Lexi at the hotel desk, she was holding a heating pad, complaining of a bad back, and appearing entirely focused on the sudden interruption of her shift. She was told she had an outstanding warrant for a suspended driver's license, an issue she didn't seem to contest. But then the second shoe dropped, an arrest for theft. This matters because it immediately forced Lexi to make a split-second decision under intense pressure, either confront the reality of what she had been doing or attempt to manage the narrative through omission. Her response was a classic deflection, claiming total confusion. This leads to the reasonable conclusion that she believed she could separate her identity as a struggling, hard-working employee from the digital paper trail she had been leaving behind. Lexi operated under the comforting but entirely false belief that because she wasn't physically stealing wallets or cloning plastic cards, her actions were somehow untraceable or anonymous. In her mind, clicking an autofill option on a phone screen or using information hidden in the text fields of a hotel reservation system insulated her from the reality of theft. This matters because it dictated her entire defensive strategy during the interview. She didn't view herself as a sophisticated fraudster. She viewed herself as someone quietly pulling a lever on an app to survive. This explains why she felt completely blindsided when faced with the granular reality of our evidence. The realization she missed until it was too late is that every digital transaction leaves a permanent, unalterable fingerprint. The case quietly changes not when we put her in handcuffs, but the exact moment she tries to blame her phone's automation for the Domino's order. When asked how she paid for the pizza delivered to her shift, she confidently stated that it simply autofilled from a card she had on file. This matters because it was the earliest quiet decision that made her ultimate confession inevitable. By trying to hide behind a glitch in technology, she inadvertently walked into a logical trap. To autofill a card, a user must first manually enter the card number, expiration date, and 3-digit security code, and then actively give the device permission to save it. Her explanation attempted to turn a highly deliberate, multi-step physical action into a passive accident. This leads to the reasonable conclusion that her reliance on the technology to mask her identity is precisely what trapped her, as phones do not magically harvest the private financial data of hotel guests on their own. I'd pay attention to how her narrative shifted the moment we moved from general accusations to specific details about her personal life. She easily maintained her denial when the topic was an abstract theft charge, but the air in the room changed completely when I brought up her trip to the movie theater on the 4th to see Zootopia, followed by the exact number of tickets purchased and the precise dollar amounts of both the theater run and the pizza order. This matters because it served as a direct credibility test, matching her verbal denials against unassailable physical and digital timelines. When confronted with the reality that we knew about specific fraudulent transactions down to the name of the movie she watched, her denial structure collapsed. This leads to the reasonable conclusion that she realized the investigation wasn't based on a vague hunch or a disgruntled manager's complaint, but on an airtight sequence of electronic receipts tied directly to her physical movements. Once evasion failed, Lexi's decision-making shifted from denial to bargaining and blame shifting. She launched into an extensive explanation of her grueling work schedule, detailing how a former general manager had intentionally cut her hours to 16 per week, forced her into grueling double shifts, and left her struggling to afford basic necessities like food and gas for her child. This matters because it reveals the ordinary human reasoning people use when trapped by evidence. She wasn't denying the act anymore, but rather trying to justify the motive by framing herself as a victim of circumstance and workplace politics. She went so far as to claim she merely adopted the practice after observing the former manager typing guest credit card details directly into the comments field of the hotel's Opera reservation software. This leads to the reasonable conclusion that while her financial desperation may have been entirely real, her choice to exploit vulnerable guests was a calculated system violation she chose to sustain long after that manager walked out. Here is the one insight that most viewers completely miss while watching this footage. Lexi's sudden refusal to provide her phone passcode wasn't an act of defiance, but a final, desperate attempt to maintain the illusion of control. When I informed her that her phone would be seized and searched under a warrant to uncover every stored card, the gravity of her situation finally set in. This matters because it highlights the fundamental lesson of modern financial investigations. Digital convenience is a double-edged sword. The very feature she used to make her thefts quick and seamless, saving stolen data directly into her personal device, is exactly what created a centralized, undeniable digital digital evidence locker for law enforcement. The ultimate takeaway here is that technology doesn't obscure a crime. It permanently archives it, transforming a series of seemingly small private choices into an open book for investigators. Drop your perspective in the comments below. If you enjoy real police body cam footage and the stories behind the evidence, subscribe to True Law and Crime. Turn on notifications, and we'll see you in the next body cam video.